The sound, yeah.
Won't pause it more, Jeff.
Are we started?
Well, I can edit it out, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, that's what we said last time.
Yeah, it doesn't matter though, does it? We
Just
just...
trying to get it closer so we can pick blah blah blah. There you go.
Well, here we are.
You know he's not going to edit that out, right, mate?
Now, hello.
Episode 2.
You saw us editing last time. Oh, you're in it, mate. How does it feel?
I'll
Come in and out whenever I need beer. I'll do.
You need beer.
Mhm.
Right.
Doctor Who. Great
Doctor
TV
Who.
show.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. David Tennant is the best by far.
We've been watching Doctor Who before this, which is why he's talking about Doctor Who, but hopefully we won't talk too much about Doctor Who because I doubt many people are
I can't
interested.
make any promises.
Even though the only feedback I've got of this, I don't know if you've got, is we had one person watching, he said it was good watching it high. I won't name names, just debating on who was watching it.
It was David.
You're a fucking idiot.
Well, no, I'm not editing because I got it right, so, you know.
David doesn't like Doctor Who.
Yeah, true. We'd be pissing off our one-man fan base.
Do you reckon I could be a good Ood? The Beast and his army.
You need more wrinkly head. Your head's too soft.
Yeah, it's too much of a baby head.
Too much.
I don't have tentacles coming out my face either,
No,
unfortunately. I am basic 100 though.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I really think you're going to have to turn this video off because there's no way you're going to be able to concentrate with Doctor Who on in the background.
I've got IQ points into concentration.
Right, so you say maybe we want to do more of a deep one, just for not David. It's absolutely not David.
Just for Dave.
Yeah.
Liam commented as well. 2 comments.
What did Liam say?
Can't remember. Something about deep something or other. Something deep, like the ocean.
Something deep like the ocean. That's good feedback. We can use that. That's constructive criticism. That.
Speaking of the ocean, I read somewhere or heard somewhere that supposedly, do you know how many shipwrecks are on planet Earth?
Was in
No,
they
why would I
sunk
know
to the
that?
bottom of the sea.
Yeah, have a guess.
What do you mean? How many ships have sunk and just left there?
Yeah, how many current shipwrecks do you reckon there are?
I'd say because like World War II, probably like 100,000, 50,000.
No,
50,000.
a million.
It's 3 million.
3 million.
3 million ship. I think so. Let me double check. Hey Siri, how many shipwrecks are there in the world?
That seems like... No, I can see that.
Okay.
Because you got to think, like,
There's a
when
lot
we're
of
pirates...
shipwrecks.
Think of all the pirates, think of all the ships they took down.
Let's have a look.
Are you counting like little rowboats or
Yeah,
only
3
like,
million.
or are you talking like proper ships as well?
A rough estimate puts more than 3 million shipwrecks on the ocean floor. Represents ships throughout the entirety of human history, from 10,000-year-old dugout canoes. What does that word say? Canoes.
Canoe preserved? Canoe preserved.
Who knows? But either way, that's a lot of ships at the bottom of the sea. That's a lot of deaths as well.
What brought you onto that conversation? Why were you talking about ships under the sea?
I'm talking about the ocean.
The ocean. The ocean's weird. I don't like it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a water type Pokemon if I had the choice.
What Pokemon would you be?
I'd be a fire type.
I'm not a big Pokemon.
Fire.
Would you not? If I would say Will's a... Oh,
Normal type. No, I'm
Uh,
just kidding. I think you're a maths type.
a maths type.
Maths type.
Yeah. You're a,
Basically.
you're
What should be?
a
I think
York
you're a
type.
fire type.
Fire
In
type.
fact, you would be a water type, wouldn't you?
No, you would be a fire type.
You reckon?
You'd be like you'd be ground maybe.
Isn't that Earth?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine you being a ground. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to think. I was thinking. It wouldn't be a dark type.
Who's ground? Can you name one?
The ground, Torterra,
I don't know.
Diglett.
Diglett. Yeah, I'm a Diglett.
Graveler.
That's pretty. Graveler.
Golem.
Geodude.
Geodude, I know that one.
Onyx.
Yeah. We want them.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool.
Matt, you're a water type.
You just said you didn't want to be earlier, so
No,
you're saying you don't
it's
want to
just-
be me.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, fuck you. I feel like water.
I can see mine as a Gyarados, however the fuck you say it.
A what?
Gyarados.
Gyarados, close enough.
Yeah. I just don't think water's me, but water seems like you. And ground seems like you.
I was always more Yu-Gi-Oh.
Really?
Yeah, but only like logical Yu-Gi-Oh. So
What
you
you
know, like first season Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, what they follow the rules on
Yeah,
a TV show.
Yeah, where they just make it up. I didn't really like that. It bugged me.
I can get behind that though. I like.
But that's almost why I didn't like Pokemon as much, because Pokemon didn't really make sense. There was no set of rules that you could follow for it.
What? As your Pokemon gets to try and fuck up my Pokemon, and then my Pokemon gets to try and fuck up your Pokemon, and we take it in turns.
Yeah, but it didn't make sense about what was more powerful in the rules. There was no like outwitting your opponent.
There was. Pikachu dodge it, and then he dodge it, and then he gets to go because he dodged it. Good job, Pikachu.
It just didn't really make much sense, though, did it?
Yeah.
There
Well,
was no like set of rules. Like you couldn't have made a tournament out of it, like a real life tournament.
does Peppa Pig have a set of rules?
No, but I don't think Peppa Pig really has a universe.
Of course it does.
PPU.
Of course it does. Yeah, the PP. You're not heard of the PPU. If you
Yeah.
want, you're not wearing the right PPE for the podcast.
Do you reckon they do much fan service in the PPU?
Yeah.
I don't like fan service.
Talk about fan service. That's
We could talk about fan service.
so. When don't you like fan service? What's like your antithesis of hating fan service?
When it doesn't
Game-
make sense.
Game of Thrones season
When
8.
it makes no sense of having fan service in there.
Game of Thrones season 8, exactly.
Which bit in season 8?
All of the sort like. Okay, so Game of Thrones was so good. 1 through 6, not meeting your expectations of surprising you when you went, oh shit, I didn't think that would happen. But season 7 and 8 to me felt like, oh, of course this is going to happen. Of course
I think the
that's gonna
last
happen.
bad shock, spoilers, was Jon Snow getting stabbed. That was the last thing that shocked me. When was that?
That was the end of season 5.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That is a good.
But that's when
probably the last big
that's when
shock.
it's the
Sebast-
books stopped, didn't it? That was when the movie
Was it?
TV series and the books split.
That was the last big thing. I was like, fuck, didn't expect that to happen.
Season 6 was okay.
Yeah, but we all knew he was going to come back.
No, I wasn't certain. I was only certain when they saw that he was acting again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it all just became a bit too big. You
course
know,
he was
that
gonna
for
come
me then makes it so that Breaking Bad was better.
I've never seen
Bad.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking
Yeah,
Bad, the last series of Breaking Bad is the best series of TV.
Last 4 episodes
No
are
doubt.
amazing. Like literally
Last
on my
four.
edge. For the
It's the
for
last
4 hours.
series. The last series is amazing. It's like the whole show is a build up, and then the last series is just everything coming
Yeah.
together, everything coming to fruition.
Every single episode.
It's so satisfying to watch. Like it's horrific, but so satisfying.
It's not as good as The Big Bang Theory, though.
I've seen every episode.
How have you seen every episode?
I watched it and
Have you seen every episode of The Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't deal with Do you know the tinned laughter in the background of shows?
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't like those
I hate it.
Audience.
sitcoms?
Yeah, yeah, but British ones don't do it. Not all of them.
Some of the old school ones do, I think. Like, do it feels nice to do it.
I don't know. I don't mind if it's a live audience. Like if it's like Mrs. Brown Boys, and I don't like that. Well, I used to watch it occasionally.
Oh, you know what's
But
not
like-
funny? Go on. You
No.
go.
But if it's like actual laughs, then I'm fine. But that same noise that goes on over and over again with Big Bang Theory, even when something unfunny
yeah,
happens,
not
and all you hear is, oh! Like, fuck off.
No one actually laughs when you're supposed to laugh.
I love it. Bang Theory.
You know what's not funny though?
I like the actual plot.
What's oh, have I got news for you that pisses me off?
What,
It's just-
the panel show?
yeah, it's just not funny.
I don't think I've watched that in years.
It's just not funny.
My parents watch it. It's not
Funny
bad.
as you.
Sometimes it's funny.
The one with the 2 journalists on either side and then a comedian
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
host for a guest.
Yeah, the guy from is it the Huffington Post? It's alright. It's a bit political. It's a bit like oh kind of
I just never
comedy.
found it funny.
I don't mind it too bad.
Peep Show's funny.
Peep Show's different.
Saying that, Peep Show is one of those shows that you have to be in like the right mindset to watch. Because I never used to find it funny, and then I watched it again, and it's
Really?
now
Well, I
hilarious.
can't watch
Yeah.
Peep Show with other people.
Why?
Just because with people who haven't seen Peep Show already, it's hard to watch.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
It's not laugh out loud comedy.
yeah,
That's true.
you have to be there
It is
with
after.
Peep Show. I feel
Yeah.
like watching Peep Show high is really good because you kind of get in. You feel like you're playing because it's like you only get high and the voice in your head becomes very clear.
Yeah.
Everything gets channeled into this one. It's like that with Peep Show because it's literally just a guy thinking in his head, talking, and you get to go through all the awkward scenarios. And you like feel the cringe and the laughs are funny.
You have to get used to how it's done because it's weirdly written and like how like the perspectives and stuff. I feel like the first series also like it's quite good, but it's not that good. There's not that many great episodes in the first series. It's one of those ones that like has a bell curve, like it's best in the middle.
I thought early Peep Show was really good.
I agree with Tom. I think later it gets really poor.
It's good all the way through, I think, but it's always entertaining, but it does have its ups and downs. Yeah, what's her face? What's her name?
It's one of those that's complete like British comedy. Like you could never make it in America. They wouldn't get it.
You couldn't show.
I don't think you could ever show it to an
Well,
American.
they tried to make a Peep Show spin-off in America. With do you know? Have you seen Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
Do you know Leonard? Big Bang Theory. He was meant to be Mark.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like Mark.
They only made a pilot. And
Mark's just Mark, though, isn't he?
Can't do stuff.
You can't remake Mark. I feel like the American equivalent of Mark doesn't exist.
Obviously, they tried to do it in terms of American format. So they made Mark really geeky, and they made Jez too much of a jock. And obviously, it didn't work.
Yeah, they have to be like losers.
Because Jez is a loser, but in not an obvious way, as Mark is a loser.
Really? I think it's the other way around.
I think what makes it so funny is when you can like.
Or is more obviously the loser.
I think he's more obviously the loser. Because Mark's got the job, doesn't he? He's got that.
Yeah, but Jez is
some of the things Mark does. Some of the things Mark does, he is not the winner.
Yeah, but neither of them are winners.
No, they're both losers.
They're both.
No.
Yeah, they're both. But I feel like Jeremy's more just stereotypically, just like he's trying to just live off whatever Mark can give him.
I always think it's good because the perspectives, like you can kind of relate to them in a way, even when they're making the world's stupidest decisions. Maybe that's why some people find it funny because they can sit there and you can go, you know what, I might do that. If it was really bad, I might do that. That sounds something stupid. Like, say if like opposite someone had cooked someone's dog, which is in one of the episodes, you would just sit there quietly. You wouldn't sit there and be like, there's a dog in that bag or something like that.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
Like, there's some bits you can really relate to.
Yeah.
It's the situations they get themselves into.
That's why I feel like somebody who is like really quote unquote popular and really like out of it and not touch of reality wouldn't like Peep Show.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You should put out a poll. Do you like Peep Show?
Well, you should do, like, most
people would say yes, just because people looking at that poll would like Peep Show.
I guess so.
You wouldn't watch it all the way through if you didn't like it. But has anyone started Peep Show and not?
But do you class like all celebrities as like cool people, or do you reckon there'd be some celebrities that enjoy it?
It'd be split, wouldn't it?
It'd be
So who, like, what type of celebrity do you think would enjoy it?
Ricky Gervais would like it. He said it was one of his favourite things in TV.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
But people like you couldn't see Robert Downey Jr. watching Peep Show or Chris Evans.
He's American. I couldn't imagine any American watching it.
What about with British people? You couldn't see Tom Holland.
I could.
Yeah, maybe I could see him. I could see him. Yeah, because he's a bit awkward, isn't he? I think he'd laugh at the awkward bits.
I'm trying to think of a British person who isn't awkward. It's kind of hard now.
Exactly. That's why it works so well. I think because everyone can relate to the things that happen.
Hugh Laurie.
Would Cara Delevingne like Peep Show?
No.
Yeah, that might. You might have it there.
You never know. I think Peep Show surprises people.
Emma Watson.
Yeah, exactly.
She wouldn't like it.
She would hate that.
No,
This is
I
so
don't think Emma Watson would
unsophisticated.
like it.
Yeah, exactly.
This is ridiculous.
The Queen.
She made Peep Show. Yeah, she funded it.
She wouldn't like it just for the fact that Jez wanks off to her in one episode.
Does he?
Yeah. With a £20 note, because that's all it has.
Oh, yeah, it's Queen. There's some so weird episodes. I was remembering the one. What's the one where she said it was a hula skirt made of dicks or something like that?
Oh, yeah. His life coach.
Yeah, where it's the life coach, and then he says like he wants to eat her hair or something.
Yeah, and
So
she's
weird.
like, too weird.
Have you ever thought about like how difficult it must be to write comedy? Have you ever thought about
I've attempted
making people
it? And how did it go?
how to.
fucking awfully.
Yeah, I have no idea how you do it.
Actually, if you really want to write like a script for a film or a TV show, you've got to. I thought it'd be quite easy, I thought it might just come off your head, but you've probably got to get a team of people in.
I imagine it must be bad because like being funny in the moment is one thing, but like creating an entire scene and setting and setting up jokes and then executing them.
That's true.
Do you reckon there's a difference in writing sketch comedy versus a TV comedy?
What?
Do you know what sketch?
Like short sketch.
Yeah, like skits.
Yeah, there must be.
Do you
a
reckon you'd be
difference.
better at?
Yeah, because you can have a meta to TV series, can't you?
And I reckon, and every episode.
I feel like I'd be better at making a meta.
Making your own universe.
It's like It's Always Sunny.
But I reckon it would be
Like, if
harder.
you ever watch It's Always Sunny, you've got Dennis in that show. And Dennis has such a good meta because you think he's like, not normal, but you think he's one of the more normal ones at the start. And you watch the whole show and you realise he's the most fucked up one by far.
The hardest thing with writing a TV show would be you got to make every character still like behave the same in each episode, but at the same time steady at an arc so they slowly change their behaviour.
Oh, there's so much micromanagement.
There is.
I can't.
It's hard.
I couldn't write comedy.
Could you act?
I reckon I could act.
Maybe. I thought maybe.
I think I could act. Yeah. I think I'd be a decent actor.
I used to love it in primary school. I used to do the
I
shit
did.
plays. Yeah, I played Superman one time.
I played an ugly stepsister.
in primary school. You are a bit of an ugly stepsister.
Yeah,
I
I
played
had balloon tits.
Oh,
I played the Sheriff of Nottingham in Robin Hood.
well done.
I don't really know the story of
Very
Robin
good.
Hood, you know. What actually happens in Robin Hood?
Yeah. All I know is
I know he steals from the rich.
I think it's such an old legend, but they make the story up with
Sure,
each
with
different
Forrest is real and all
adaptation.
that, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. I've been
Is
to
King
the
Arthur
Forest.
meant to be real? I always wonder that one. Is that one definitely fake?
No, that's fake.
Guy
That's fake.
Ritchie.
King Arthur's fake.
Definitely.
Yeah,
It's not like
What,
it's
you-
not like a myth.
it's a bit. Robin Hood's fake, isn't he?
I thought that one's a myth. I thought it could
Yeah.
be real.
Oh no, King Arthur's definitely fake. There was never a king of England called Arthur.
Really?
Yeah,
So there was never a search for a holy
well,
grail.
there's someone called Merlin, was there?
Oh yeah, I guess so.
And
Yeah,
so-
that was a
And
stupid
he was the
question.
only one who pulled a sword and a stone.
Would you go back and
You know
watch Jesus?
I do think Jesus is real.
Yeah. Would you go?
You do or you don't.
Even if God isn't real, Jesus is 100% real.
I want to go back
I
in
think
time.
most historians have.
Yeah, he's definitely a real human being that was
Yeah,
alive.
he might not have been the father of God, but
Like, we never
son of
know.
God.
Son of God.
Yeah.
Go to Catholic church for how many years?
I'd love to go back and just, like, you know, like the Doctor and Doctor 2 can go to just woo, Jesus
Watch
times.
what?
And hello, I'm Tom. Hi, I'm
I mean, they'd all be
Jesus.
speaking Arabic, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but imagine if, like, you could translate.
Like the TARDIS.
Yeah, the TARDIS
So you're thinking
translates.
Doctor Who, so you've already brought this back to Doctor Who.
Exactly, yeah. But you meet Jesus. Imagine. Literally, just suspend your disbelief. Literally. Imagine going back to those times and just living for a bit.
Would you tell people?
And you go, what do you mean?
So if you found out, you went back, and it turned out he was just a normal bloke, would you come back and tell people?
I would.
No, I wouldn't.
That'd be dangerous.
They wouldn't believe you, though. They wouldn't believe you.
No.
Okay, but say if you brought back proof.
Oh.
I don't know what it is, but
So,
whatever.
yeah.
I know it would be impossible to get proper
Yeah, I
proof,
know
but
what
say
you
if you had proper proof.
Ooh.
Say you
No, not.
could change loads of people's opinions.
Say if like all of a sudden
I wouldn't.
you brought like the whole church and the religion thing like to its knees.
No, that would cripple the world, I think.
Wow.
'Cause it's the
That's
biggest
a lot of
faith on
power.
earth.
But it does
All
need
those
to
people
go a
losing
little
their
bit.
belief.
You have to weigh up the good and the bad. What's the good of it? What's the bad of it?
Well, the good of it, it'd get rid of
Would-
faith and its nasty bits.
No, yeah, but other religions would prosper, wouldn't they?
Well, if you get rid of Jesus, then you get rid of what would you be left with?
Muhammad. So
No, he's God, isn't he?
No,
Muhammad's a prophet.
they don't worship Muhammad though. It's just like the.
A prophet.
He's a prophet.
Yeah, but all the Christianity-based ones,
So
the ones that believe in
Abrahamic
God.
religion.
So no Judaism,
Yeah.
no
Christianity
Islam,
is,
no Christianity.
Yeah, all of those would go. So you'd be left
So
with
Hinduism,
Hinduism,
Buddhism.
Buddhism. Buddhism's
Well,
nice,
they go
though.
though, because in Judaism and Islam they don't believe Jesus is the Son of God. So if you came back and just said Jesus was a bloke, they'd be like, yeah, he was a
Oh
bloke.
yeah, they only believe Old
They'd
Testament.
be
don't
like,
they?
yeah.
So they'd be fine. They'd still be there. So it'd be a bit
So
mean.
maybe other religions would just
Be a bit mean, a bit cruel.
Maybe
to
you'd have to prove the
Christianity.
others wrong. But at the same time, if you found out, oh, theirs was all wrong, do you reckon they'd be like, no, or they'd be like, oh,
Well,
maybe mine's wrong if theirs was wrong.
You'd have to see the real proof, wouldn't you? You have to bring back hard facts.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe you shouldn't do it. It sounds a bit tense. Because then you'd know, and then everyone else wouldn't know. That would be really
It'd be
nice.
horrible.
Where would you go back to if you had one shot to go to any place at any time?
But there's
What?
no serious repercussions. Like I wouldn't get a disease.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Where would you go? One, you got
Well,
one.
you go to the start of the universe, wouldn't you?
Okay. Not, you can't go to that.
During on Earth.
Yeah.
Has to be on Earth.
One place.
But it has to be during human history. It can't be the dinosaurs or anything. Unless.
No, you can go back to that. Yeah, if you want. Why not?
But I couldn't be eaten by a dinosaur, you can guarantee.
I'd want to know one of those conspiracy theories.
Really?
I'd want to find out one. I don't know which one. I'd have to look. I'd look into it.
9/11.
Maybe 9/11, maybe a
But
JFK one, just to check. I just want to know. I just want to. I don't really believe in all conspiracy theories, but I just want to check one, or maybe an alien one, because aliens looking quite like
Roswell.
Yeah, might check an alien one.
Roswell, but
Yeah.
you could check on that easier than you could check on 9/11. How could you? You went back to 9/11. How could you check that it was real?
You
or
could
fake?
go to the plane. Would you go on the plane?
Oh yeah, you could go on the plane.
Go on, play.
See if there was actually not like autopiloted or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be imagine. I can get been on that plane.
Or being like a tourist to it. No, that'd be horrendous.
But how do you know might not be an actor?
Oh, I mean,
That's true. What would you do if you got on there and the plane was empty? You're the only one on
that's really
Fucking hell, that would be.
it.
I feel like it has glitched out my brain.
Yeah, you just left mid-podcast.
Sorry.
Probably the audio probably couldn't pick you up then.
He's
Apologies.
returning. He went for a
He
beer.
said his
Yeah,
brain glitched.
I don't like thinking about such dark things.
Don't you?
Well, I do it because my mind is too curious, but I don't. Sometimes I'll freak myself out thinking about.
See, I don't mind dark things. I don't like impossible things.
No,
Impossible
I don't
things.
think-
Yeah,
What do you mean? Impossible.
like
things.
edge of the universe shit. I don't really like that. I'm not a fan of that.
It just makes you how small you are, innit? Just makes you feel so small.
Those are the big questions.
No, but you know what I've only just realised recently, which was quite thick of me. But I realised I really think of like the start of humanity as like when Jesus was born, like 0.
Really?
I don't know why I do that, but in my head I'd been doing that. And now I'm thinking back, and it was like thousands.
Which shows
before.
how exponential technology has gone.
Yeah, we've just like.
Yeah,
Because it started like 4000 BCE. What's before that?
because then it's made me think, do you think humans have died out and we've looped?
What do you mean?
No.
So we've all died out, and then we've looked, because like you'd see like evidence of like passive, like Atlantis and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, we haven't seen that.
Yeah, but there's evidence of past civilization.
There is.
Yeah, but we haven't gone extinct since then.
But we might have.
We haven't, no.
Could have done.
Some people think those like past civilizations
Yeah.
that have died out.
What, that, or like the pyramids or some shit?
Yeah.
I think there's something
No.
about
No,
South.
'cause we know
it's
Egypt,
close.
we know
So, you know
Egypt.
fun, mate.
What?
You know fun. Come on, maybe.
You never know. We do never know.
Do
Who
never
built the
know.
pyramids?
See, this is the kind of shit I'd check.
Egyptians.
This is the kind of shit I'd check.
Yes, go back to the pyramids. That'd be a good one.
Seeing them being built.
Yeah,
Maybe
Is it
just
one of the
Yeah,
slaves?
that's a really good one.
That is a good one to go to. Have you been getting these ads on YouTube about the guy who says that he was alive in Atlantis, and he's like
No.
talking about the?
That
It's
is
just some
just
dude
on
in a
YouTube.
shirt. Yeah, I'm getting ads for this guy who's like, so I was born in Atlantis.
I keep getting the
Are
self
you sure it's not Atlanta?
Atlantis, and he's talking about how in his past lives they used to like have these weird. Oh, I don't know. I'm not going to go.
Wasn't Atlantis meant to be like an advanced civilization?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the point?
Meant
of
to be
it?
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. So that's what I mean with
That one
reset.
could be real. Well, not
Yeah.
real, but could be an actual reset, but it's not real.
Which means it's not
Because
real.
there's no Atlantis has actually been discovered, is there?
Yeah, but if there was,
Then that's a
it
massive.
could be real though, couldn't it?
But if it is real, it could just be an ancient civilization sunk to the bottom of the ocean or something. It couldn't actually be an advanced
Still, though.
civilization.
Maybe.
Still.
'Cause don't they say like we only know like 5% of what's in the ocean?
Oh yeah, gone back to the ocean.
What? 5% of what's actually down there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we only
something
know like
that.
5% of it.
Octopus. What the fuck are they?
No, octopus is fine. It's squid.
Squids.
Squids are fucking weird.
Squids become massive.
Squids have a beak.
So octopus, I think.
Yeah, they do.
But octopus have a beak.
Yeah.
Like under all that, just a little bit.
What the fuck?
What are they?
How do octopuses
Octopuses are
shag?
very clever.
What are they? Have you seen the ones that can blend into their environment?
I've dissected a squid.
You've dissected a squid.
Last year, yeah.
Why are squids weirder to you than octopus? Octopuses, octopi.
I don't know.
Pussy.
They're all weird. They all look alien. Anything from the sea looks a bit alien.
Squids get huge. Do you know squids and sperm whales have fights at the very depths of the ocean?
Not the other in
And
US.
Squids. Wait,
The way you
wait.
phrase
How big a
that.
squid? Are you thinking
I
like?
know the colossus squid. The squids that are like the size from that. Well, you can't visualize it, but from that window to this window.
Is that a thing?
What, across your house?
Really?
Yeah.
There's squids that are that big.
Yeah, with the tentacles.
Okay, we may be looking at like 20 meters here. He's
Yeah.
talking about like a 20
I'm
meter squid.
googling.
You reckon there's going to be a 20-meter squid?
Christ, Google.
Not 20
Google
meters.
biggest squid ever discovered.
I'm never getting on a ship again if there's a 20-meter squid.
Well, like, it's so easy to say this now.
I'm
It's
getting
like,
phone,
yeah,
maybe
look,
it
there's a squid somewhere out there. But right now, at
Yeah.
this very moment, there's a squid that big living right now as we speak.
Yeah.
And someone listening to this, there's a squid somewhere.
I don't think he's listening to it though.
No, not the squid.
Oh.
Do you reckon he's listening
It's an
to it?
advanced squid race.
Squid's gonna knock on my
Could you
door.
imagine if there was a race that like lived somewhere that could like tune into all of our like YouTube and internet and picked up our signals,
I hope it's
or
not
did
maybe it's
contact us?
Maybe there's aliens.
Maybe it's aliens. Maybe this is a podcast for aliens. Maybe that's what you should make before they arrive with all the rumors coming about. You should make a podcast for aliens. You should like
For
teach them about
aliens?
us. Well, there was a thing coming out where they admitted there was unknown entities
Okay.
come down.
Hmm.
So if they reckon aliens are listening to us, you should make a podcast for aliens.
The largest squid ever recorded.
No, they wouldn't know about us.
Largest squid ever recorded was 43 feet, which is 13 meters.
13 meters. That's big.
Huge.
Did they catch it? Is there a picture?
Picture of a massive squid.
That's like 13,000 leagues under the sea shit, that is. The sea is horrific.
Surely, if aliens could get to us, then they'd be able to just like watch us and
Hmm.
not and just be undetected.
That's like
Yeah, but say if you could see a...
squid versus whale.
That looks very
That's
in
cartoon.
detail.
It is a cartoon, but I don't think that's
Is that
actually
gonna
going to
work
focus.
one?
Yeah, there we go. That's cartoon imagery, but I imagine that's what it's like.
So that they fight each other.
Yeah.
That's literally MMA undersea.
Could you imagine a squid doing jiu-jitsu?
It'd be a whole different
Man, I'll be
universe.
Oh.
It'd be a whole universe.
Wow.
Imagine the tentacles and how you move them
But
to.
then imagine how squishy the bodies are as well.
It'd be so different.
And you'd be underwater, so you'd be slower. So everything would be in slow motion.
But there'd be no floor to press down on.
Unless you push them down to the floor, that might be a technique.
Got to go all the way down to the bottom of the ocean.
Well, I guess it depends how deep.
Control.
Well, he said they were fine at the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, what, do they like host events down there or something? They put on amateur shows. UFC Battle Arena.
Joe Rogan's there. In a swimsuit. In a swimsuit.
Squid Rogan.
Alex Jones watching from the corner trying to take pictures of him.
That'd be sick. I do wonder about what would happen if you could teach animals or different animals, like if they could figure out how their style of fighting actually works.
They could. Well, it was Joe Rogan in his Post Malone thing said, who was it that was, I think a centipede was killing a mouse or something like that, and he said the mouse should learn jiu-jitsu.
What the mouse like beats
Yeah.
that's cool.
But imagine being like a centipede and learning jiu-jitsu. Would that even work?
What would that jiu-jitsu even? It's like how many legs do they have? 1,000.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if you could design specific fighting styles, so like a bear. Like, would you have a specific style for a bear?
It'd be whatever their physics works. Bear versus bear. What's a bear? What's
No,
this?
what about like bear v human? Do you reckon you could get the perfect fighting style so you never lost to a bear?
You'd have to be really wary of their fucking teeth.
Yeah.
You'd all have to be focused around getting
Be
away
very
from
back
that.
taking.
Yeah, it would.
Or leg lock.
Leg lock a bear. Bear's not going to attack though.
Yeah.
You could pop it in.
Exactly, so if you pop it, you win.
Human versus bear. How would
You managed to.
We've got to figure it out.
There would be no point. I think that's why no one would do it.
in the future, maybe you could like make robot bears to simulate. You could learn from that.
Yeah,
way.
but how are you going to pop out of bears? Like, how are you going to break the limb of a robot bear?
Yeah, it's technology and shit. It'll heal back.
Heal back, but it'd be a robot.
Yeah, but it's one of these advanced robots in the future.
Self-thingy robots.
Yeah,
Self-replicating.
I do get. I think about this a lot. It's like strange, but just fights between different species. It's like,
What about animals?
yeah. Imagine
Have
being
you ever seen giraffes fight?
with their like necks. What do
Yeah.
they do?
They
Just like swing
just
their necks.
twat their necks at each other.
Really?
Yeah, it's mad.
Christ.
There's no technique in that. It's all just like,
Boom.
yeah.
I once watched a video like a mantis versus a black widow.
Or a praying mantis?
I think so. Yeah. It
Was in a spider, Black Widow spider.
Yeah.
No,
crazy, it's
the
crazy.
mantis just kill that.
Type in like mantis versus.
What is a praying
black
mantis?
widow?
I don't really know what a praying mantis is. Well, I know what it looks like, but what, like, where do you even find it? Like, what's?
I don't know.
I know they do it in like kung fu films.
I used to fight like a bit of a mantis. Don't anymore though.
You fight like Dominic Cruz now, don't you?
I like a D-Tech Dominic Cruz.
Mantis versus
A
fire.
D-Tech.
D-Tech. I'm more kicky than Dominic Cruz.
You know, like a Sats Dominic Cruz.
That's oh yeah. That's me. That's me.
Kung fu.
No, like literally. Keep going. Like scroll.
Brazilian wandering spiders are fucking huge tarantulas.
I just can't do wasps and hornets. They're the worst bugs known to
Have
me.
you seen those hornets that
Oh,
move?
there we go.
Yeah, they murder the bees and like decapitate the bees.
Black widow versus
Horrendous.
praying mantis spiders. And
There you go. That looks pretty legit.
I reckon that could be a jump scare. Yeah.
Could easily be a jump scare.
Oh,
This is just going to be a podcast of us just fucking shitting ourselves.
yeah. That's how we're going to become famous.
Oh no! One time I watched. It was Black Widow versus a scorpion. There was two.
That is cool though.
This stuff is really cool.
Would it be? Why isn't this
could
animal
mantis-
cruelty though? Does this not class as animal cruelty? Like if this was like a
Yeah,
lion
it's
versus
weird,
a
isn't
tiger, then it would be animal cruelty. It's weird, like how,
Yeah, but insects feel
Where
less
do you-
and
like what's?
insects feel less than mammals.
I wouldn't
how
mind
do you-
watching.
What do you mean they feel less than mammals?
But they don't have as much consciousness as mammals do. Their brains haven't developed as large, so.
Ooh, that's new. You've twinged something there.
What's
Consciousness is consciousness on a scale. Do you have consciousness, or do you not have consciousness, or do you have
A spectrum.
a spectrum of consciousness?
Conscious, what I think.
But what is consciousness?
Because
Don't-
Isn't that self-awareness? So you're
it's a form
self-aware.
of self-awareness. Yeah.
So I think only humans have that.
So then you think it's on off. You think it's either you're
But
conscious
we've
or you're not.
slowly,
Yeah,
slowly
but-
developed to this
but-
point then.
Yeah, I do think consciousness is either on and off. I don't think humans are the only ones who've truly developed it. But I do think that there's still a difference between animals fighting each other in mammals than there is in
Well, aren't there
insects.
some like dolphins? I swear they're like friends and go in packs, and that
Yeah,
seems
but
a little
loads
bit
of animals go in
consciousness.
packs.
Yeah, but that's what I'm
Ants.
saying. That all seems a bit consciousness.
Ants are weird. Ants are weird. How they all know what's going on. We don't know.
Bees? No, it's bees.
No, but insects have because we have our senses, don't we? But they have a pheromone system, which we don't have.
Tell you what, it's a good job you're in, mate, with your biology. We'd be
Yeah,
fucked.
I'm literally just a stoner that talks about.
If you want a bit of that, right? So you know how bees make hive like beehives,
Yeah.
and they're hexagons to make the honey.
Yeah.
That is the perfect shape to make the optimal amount of honey, like the optimal shape. And it took us it took like mathematicians and all that ages to find out that the hexagons were the optimal shape. But for some fucking reason, every bee knows that you grow up and you make your beehives in hexagons.
And you know those hornets that were killing the bees. You see the bees figured out a way to kill the hornets.
Yeah, they like heat them up or something.
They surround the hornet. All loads of them will surround the hornet and vibrate their wings.
Yeah, like overheat it.
Yeah, they cook the.
They cook it. It's
They
weird.
figured that out and just tell each other.
But then how does it? But if they tell each other, then that makes me think consciousness.
Well, this is
Like if you can be nice and help out other bees and tell them about
Scientists
killing
said
bees, then you can be a dick. to
if
bees.
you're aware that a reflection is your own reflection, do you have consciousness?
I think everything living has some form of consciousness. Some form of consciousness. I do. And I'm not
Does
knowing like being
bacteria?
self-aware. I don't know, but
Okay, let's look at just animals that we can
Does
see
a plant
right in
does a
front of
plant
us.
know it's a plant and know what it's doing?
Jesus Christ, that gorilla is thick.
Is a thing.
Like that baboon didn't know it was a.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
thought it was another baboon.
So they've set up a mirror.
Yeah, but that could just be a fucking idiot. Like, I've met people I reckon are stupid enough to see themselves in a mirror and think it's someone else.
They don't see mirrors day to day though. Like my dog sees himself in the mirror, it's no problem.
There
He's used to it,
are
isn't he?
like chimpanzees are one of the few animals who go to a mirror and just use it to like pick fleas out themselves.
Yeah, but why is conscious being able to see yourself in a mirror? I don't really see the link there.
Yeah.
So then it's the ability to know that's yourself and you know what you're doing, and otherwise it's not.
No, but I wouldn't say consciousness is that. Consciousness is like...
What is?
It's
Should we get a definition? Of
It's
consciousness?
self-awareness.
Let's see what
Is
Google
it?
says.
Maybe I need a
See,
different... Maybe I need a different word for what I'm thinking then.
Like, elephants recognise that was them.
Maybe I'm thinking more like
Consciousness.
soul. Like, what's a soul?
People's souls fake.
Oh, it says consciousness, soul.
Soul's what?
Soul fake. What is soul?
Well, it could
Okay,
be, but
so-
then there's a lot of things that like you can't explain.
According to Google, consciousness is the state of being aware
Yeah.
and responsive to one's surroundings.
Yeah, so the mirror
Surroundings.
is a good test.
The state of being aware.
But everything's
and
aware to
responsive
its
one's
surroundings.
Aware to itself and its surroundings.
Maybe consciousness and awareness are two different things. Self-awareness is different to consciousness.
To itself, it's too aware to itself. So the mirror, it would know it's itself in its
Yeah,
mirror.
those cheeks were clapping on that gorilla.
The guy's haircut, damn.
The monkeys look depressed on the mirror.
But if that mirror stayed there for a day, they get used
But
to
of
it.
course, but they are self-aware.
An
Like,
insect, a beetle wouldn't, would it?
Beetle wouldn't give a shit though.
It's not like the fact that it wouldn't give a shit. In fact, it's hasn't got the capacity to.
People
Give a
get
shit.
like, 'cause we can't go inside the beetle's
Yes, we
brain.
do.
You can't go inside Beetle's brain and see what Beetle's thinking. Beetle might look at that and be like, what the fuck is going on
do you
here?
like Rick and Morty Roy? But so where you like put yourself in someone's consciousness, you could put yourself into a beetle. But then would you remember it?
Do you want to know something? Want to hear
Exactly.
something mad? If evolution is true, and every organism on Earth is related to each other, does that mean our like great grandfather times 10 to the whatever is a bug or is a plant?
We all go back to the same point, don't
That's
we?
cool.
We're all related. We're related.
Oh,
One
wait.
of our grandfathers
In
is
fact, that's a good point. You'd go back and you'd see the start of life, the first amoeba, or whatever.
Yeah, but that is evolution's so slow as you probably couldn't see that, could you?
Something must have happened.
Like you wouldn't see the first human, wouldn't you?
The fact that we're here
But
now,
there must have been something that created the first thing.
That would, yeah, you probably could see that.
Yeah, that's what I go back to.
That would just be ocean.
What do you mean?
Nothing much to see.
You mean there'd just be ocean? What, you'd just be like, no ocean? Ocean? What does that mean?
No, like you'd just be an ocean. If
So you
go
don't think
back-
there'd be like a thunderbolt that hits a spot?
No,
on
what I
the
mean is when you go back to see a single amoeba, there wouldn't be much to see. Because you can't see that.
Yeah, but surely you would have seen an event that caused that amoeba to...
Probably not. I think it probably just happened.
No, but maybe you'd be able
What's
to
an
like
amoeba?
test the air and see the conditions, and that's what made the amoeba go...
what?
It was a type of organism. Single-celled organism.
Single cell.
It's like the most basic form, well not life, but basic form of organism.
Imagine what it was
It's
like if
more
you
like
could enlarge
eukaryotic
it.
organism.
Like, you know, in Microsoft Word, when you enlarge images, if you could enlarge a single-celled organism to, like, the size of this laptop. Imagine how cool
Well,
that
no, but like evolution makes sense, but it still doesn't explain like the first one, does it? The first thing. So I'd want to know that.
That is true. Where did the first thing of life?
Well, that's what
come
I'm
from?
saying. That's what you'd have to check. Because then if you went there, and even if you couldn't see it, like you
It'd be hard to
said,
detect,
maybe you could check the conditions, and you'd be sitting there with like, you know, like one of those dishes
That would be
sitting on your
fascinating to
head,
see.
and then you could make that in a box in the future, and then you could make an amoeba.
What was that?
Then I'll be like, fucking hell, he figured
That
out
was fascinating
life.
to see, wasn't it? How did life like just come
There was an
about?
experiment we did in chemistry. Well, not did, but we learned about. Do you remember? Or biology, about where life came from. They made like, it was a past study. They made like a glass ball with certain conditions inside. And they tried to make life.
Did it work? I don't
I can't
remember.
remember. It's got-
No,
Is anyone doing that, mate?
Information.
Has anyone just got a box of nothing and let it sit there? That'd be a good
A
experiment.
box of nothing.
Yeah, so you make a vacuum in a box, and then you put the box down, and you just watch the box.
Nothing would happen, I reckon.
But then how did everything start?
Exactly. Well, who the fuck knows?
Well, exactly, but if you watch the empty box and something happened, then maybe you'd know.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
You never do know. Do you?
Exactly.
You might come home and be a chicken in the box.
Let's see. Is there an experiment where they
That's
just
true.
stare at an empty box all day?
All day with the clipboards. Yes.
No, you wouldn't have to be a clip. It can be like a side project. You just have like a camera. You make sure it rolls around, and you've just got an empty box. I don't know why. I can imagine like an underlit table, and then it's got black edges and a glass box on either side, and it's a complete vacuum inside.
Would it be worth doing though? Because
Well, I mean, if you got the results, it'd be worth doing.
if something happened,
Yeah.
but like the odds of a human being in their lifetime of something happening out of nothing.
Yeah.
It just,
Well, yeah. You probably have to pass it down to kids.
fuck me. Sorry.
I wonder if the first ever organism that ever existed, but every
Dave's gonna
single
be happy right
life,
now. This is lovely high talk.
every single thing on life originated from. I wonder if there's a sync version of that still exists.
What, like extinct
Oh.
animals?
What?
No, the
But
first life,
everything
if
that-
it.
everything originated from, like plants to bacteria to archaea. I wonder if there's a form of that still exists.
Whoa. What would it like?
That's technically our great
Well, it
grandfather.
probably is some like water plant.
But
isn't it?
technically, that plant over there is great
Yeah, it'll
grandfather.
be some like water plant, won't it? Or will it be some bacteria? Or
It'd be
be
a
like,
microorganism, wouldn't it?
Imagine if the
A single
first,
cell.
the first was still alive. Imagine if that guy was still alive.
Well, it wouldn't be, would it?
But imagine that.
nah, that guy's not alive.
Yeah, but he might be.
But if he's a guy, then isn't it cruelty that we were having a spider and a mantis fighting?
Probably is. Yeah. Put him there.
Do you reckon that'll be one of those perspective things that change? So obviously we're getting a lot of that now. Do you reckon it'll be like in the future, like we see like circuses with like how they used to have lions and used to be, oh, that's terrible now, you never do that now. And if someone did that now, they get loads of hate.
Bullfighting, like bull.
Yeah, that's a bit fucked up.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Do you think in like 20 years' time they'll see like a mantis and a spider and they're like, what the fuck were they doing to that mantis and spider?
That's a good question.
Do you think they'll ever do that with dogs? That's the thing.
What
Do
do
you
you
reckon they'll ever like see it's cruel to keep dogs and cats?
Yeah, dogs and cats can fit.
I was thinking about that recently, like relatively recently. Like, is it?
But
if
we
you're
are
taking
nice
care
to
of a
them.
dog,
Like, you know, it's not
Yeah.
like you mistreat them. Well, most people don't. Like, you're not meant to. There's rules against not doing it.
it's come to a point now where there's so many bred, domesticated cats and dogs that if you don't give them a home, because they're like it's like a human farm, isn't it? Where else are they going to go? They're made literally for humans to have inside of their concrete boxes. That's what they're made for.
Which is pretty fucked up.
Which is fucked up. If you really think about it,
Well,
it's-
That is a bit fucked
So
up.
if humans say would disappear right now, what do you think would happen to those dogs, stray cats?
Some of them would run out onto the streets to find food. Some of them
So
would
the
die.
bigger dogs would probably win.
It'd become a lawless land, wouldn't it?
Bigger dogs would eat
The big dogs and the smaller dogs, the middle dogs, probably screwed.
The small dogs would be fucked, wouldn't they?
No, but some of the small,
Like a
like,
bulldog,
yeah, but think of like a little whippet that nothing can catch. That'd be fine. To be like fucking flying everywhere, catching rabbits. That'd be sound.
But a pug would be fucked.
Oh yeah, those bastards that can't even breathe. Yeah, they'd be fucked.
It's like an Alsatian of that, man. Like a
Yeah, all those dogs with the wrinkled face, they'd be fucked. Like your French bulldogs, your pugs,
probably those
Sharpies,
bulldogs.
Staffies, maybe Staffies.
Staffies
They're
wouldn't.
hard cunts. You wouldn't fuck with them, would you?
Cockpoos.
Yeah, but they've got short legs.
Cockatoos are
Staffy's
fucked.
got short legs.
True, but you wouldn't fuck with a
Yeah,
Staffy.
but
would you?
Alsatians eat that. Or
You think? I reckon Staffy.
or
would
what's
be
it?
dead.
The one being a pig.
No, but Staffy's quite. Staffy's
one
gonna
being a
rip
pig?
its legs. We're now talking about dog fighting.
Or
That's very
what's one being?
illegal.
Oh, Rottweiler. Rottweiler will eat that.
Yeah, but there's not like Rottweilers everywhere, are there? But you get like you could have a team of Staffy.
Over the years,
Do you think the
eventually-
species would team up?
No.
Do you reckon the species would attack each other?
No, I feel like the big dogs will team up and small dogs will team up. Similar
So
species.
you
of
don't
dogs
think
will team
it'd
up.
be? So you don't think it'd be? You know, dog eat dog. It wouldn't be like.
No, I don't with packs. Dogs form packs. Cats will be alone.
And do you think the packs would be the same? You think the packs would be the same size, not the same species? That's a fun one, that.
Well,
Who
yeah.
the fuck knows?
We need to do like a Lord of the Flies, but with dogs.
Cats.
We need to desert a bunch of dogs on an
Well,
island.
somebody there was a video on YouTube that predicted what would happen if humans disappeared suddenly, and apparently cats would move to skyscrapers because there'd be so many birds up there and mice to catch, and also it would be infested by like jungle by then, so the cats would inhabit the big tall buildings.
I think that's bullshit. I'm not having that.
And also get away from dogs on the ground.
How long would they have to get there?
Well, this will be over like hundreds of years.
The cats go to the skyscrapers.
Yeah, well, not just skyscrapers, but tall buildings in general.
Not sure about that.
Like the cats in Stoke to be fucked.
Cats and
There's no skyscrapers in Stoke.
They go to those fucking sugar
But
mills.
can't those cats just catch mice? Like they normally
Well, yeah,
and
yeah.
birds on the ground like they
Well,
normally
then eventually the dogs would rule the land, and eventually the bigger original animals, like the animals escape from
But
zoos and
dogs,
shit.
most dogs can't catch a cat.
Well, but what about the animals escape from zoos? And like all the other wild cats in the UK.
What?
Well,
So
is there
cats are going to kill a cat all brothers.
Isn't there bobcats in the UK?
Cool painting.
Thank you.
Really on topic there, Tom.
Sorry.
You're really focused on this
The
podcast.
UK would be different. wouldn't
You
it?
keep forgetting it's going on because I feel like you should walk off
I
sometimes.
started thinking about what we're talking about, like cats and dogs living in the wild.
Can I have another raspberry?
Yeah, you can. I was thinking a lot about the like if like things like animals fighting each other. It seems like it'd be okay as long as it's a nature encounter, or not.
As long as you haven't forced the fight.
Exactly, yeah. If you force a fight to the death, like dog fighting is obviously a really bad thing.
So yeah, that's nature versus nature.
Oh, I
Yeah.
feel like I've said this before.
Is
Wilson knows what you're talking
Is
about.
there-
Taking over the
So
skyscrapers.
Tom, question for you:
One.
is there a difference in like two alligators fighting in nature compared to if two humans kill each other on the street? Isn't that just nature?
Well, I've asked this question to you before, and you both had different answers. If two people, two mentally sound people, if you could know they were mentally sound, I don't know, did some kind of mental health check, and you're both like, yep, you're sane, yep, you're sane, and they want to fight to the death,
Let them have it.
you think let them have it?
Let them go.
All right, I think you said last time, don't let them have it. Would you? Or are you changing? You changing?
Well, probably no. Well, law wouldn't allow that, would he? Would it?
Would you? Yeah.
The law-
Okay,
the law's
ignore
made
the law. Would you say you were the law? Are you letting them? You're letting them get in a cage or a ring or just a bit of dirt.
So if I don't let them, will they probably do it anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Because
that goes beyond.
they'll be frustrated. There'll be anger within the
So-
community.
Killing and death.
They might not do it,
I'd
but
do
there'll
it.
be civil unrest.
I'll probably do it just to keep the community from not uprising.
What do you mean?
No, there wouldn't necessarily be an uprising. It's like, you know, if they
It
put
would
tax.
satisfy the community then. Satisfy the community, I'd let them do it. But I wouldn't do it just because they want to. Because that's no good reason to. They just sacrifice their lives for no good reason.
What are you doing?
Shane Wilson. No! They should be allowed to fight, in my opinion.
So if you really
To
didn't
the
like
death.
stuff,
Yeah, if they want to. If they both want to do it, why
would
not?
you let it be
Free will, so yeah.
commercialised?
That's horrible. That's
No,
horrible.
no.
That's inhuman.
No. So it has to be off the books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
No,
putting
put it
to
on
death
TV.
commercially. That is disgusting.
Yeah, it is disgusting.
But that's what gladiators used to do.
Yeah, that's where it used to be.
That used to be
But
entertainment.
that was back.
But that was forcing people to do it. That was that issue.
No,
Was it?
no, it wasn't.
I thought they
I thought gladiators were like slaves, weren't they? But like slightly ranked up slaves. Like it's like, oh, you're a strong slave. Go fight.
I don't know.
Be a gladiator. I'm pretty sure. I don't think gladiator was optional. I don't think it was a well sorted
I think
after.
gladiator might have been optional. Or at least some
I
gladiators.
think it was optional between that or slavery or like
And if
being
you're-
homeless.
If you're a bit hench, might as well go for the
Yeah,
gladiator.
I think it was like hench slaves or gladiators.
I bought a book recently. This like samurai. I've told you about this. This samurai dude.
You don't read.
No, it's like a small, tiny book. It's this good dude called Miyamoto Musashi or something. He was a samurai back in the 1500s or something, and he used to fight people like sword fights to the death, and he killed 60 people. He's literally like 60-0, but in sword fights to the death. And he wrote his book on like how to live life and stuff. It's crazy. This dude.
When did he write it?
Centuries ago. No idea. But it's like This is real shit.
I've never read anything
Yeah, but
from
does it
centuries
have,
ago.
like-
That's a bit wild.
Does it sound like it's from centuries ago to book, or does it have like?
Yeah, I was going to say,
me and
because the
my bro
language was
killed this
completely
guy.
different.
Me and my bro whacked this dude on the street.
It's quite like what he says is like it's quite basic stuff, but everything he says means a lot. It's not a big book. It's not a big book. At
You
all.
dodge the blade, then you stab them. What do you mean? Is it talking about how to fight, or is it talking about...
Like his life philosophies. I haven't
I-
read it yet. I need to read it. I'll read it.
I haven't read much ancient philosophy.
I think that kind of stuff's quite interesting.
Can't be us.
But you can't
I
read.
feel like
You
I'm
can't
not
read
good with
that.
ancient things. You don't read. I've started
can't
reading a bit
read.
more.
Father
There's
is
different-
bad.
Yeah, I find it difficult to read books. Yeah,
It's like a film, but you have to proper concentrate, think.
I'm too ADHD.
Yeah, it's quite good. I'm reading Brave New World now. You ever heard of it? It's quite a famous one. It's about a world where they only they make it so like a very few people are left fertile and everyone's made in a factory, and they make everyone like rank them all into like alphas, betas, deltas, epsilons, gammas, and then they like rank them correctly in society. So there's the right amount of everyone, and like they all like only associate in their own groups.
A dystopian future kind of one.
Yeah, that's mostly all I'm reading right now.
We horrible.
But it wouldn't be horrible if you were living with it.
I'd be the A class because I'm the best.
You'd be what?
I'd be in the A class.
What happens to Epsilon people?
Jokes.
Like the lowest?
Yeah.
They just like work at the lowest jobs.
Like, where,
Whatever you think is the lowest job is, I don't want to offend anyone. But like
What's the lowest job?
the simplest job, like
investment
I don't know,
bankers.
probably not that.
Doctors?
Yeah. YouTubers.
Yeah,
Maybe.
YouTube.
Philosophers probably pretty low as well. Shit like that. No, to be fair, they don't allow things like philosophers. They don't like free thought and things like that. They're all ineffective.
Free speech is stupid, to be fair. Is that a good place to end it?
Free speech is no. Free speech is a weird one, you know, because I sit on both sides of it.
Really?
Well, no, I love free speech,
Yeah.
but then people really abuse it,
In what way? The people do it.
like to go up and say horrific things to people.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's hard finding that line between free speech and hate speech, and how you can have one without the other when technically you can't, because you should be free to spread hate speech.
Do you think people need thicker skins?
You can't really ask people that though, can you? 'Cause some people just can't. Like, you can't ask people to have thicker skins.
That's true.
You can't just be like, oh, stop, like, have a thicker skin. Like, what the fuck are we gonna do? They're just gonna be like, oh, okay. So it's not really fair. So that's why I struggle. Because, like, me personally, yeah, I'd walk about and I'd have everyone telling each other their dicks and this and that, and that's why I do it. But
Yeah, but
I know a lot of people can't handle that, so it's not fair.
Should the people who could handle it have to cater for those who can't?
Well, yeah, that's the other side. But it's almost.
Also, just because you're offended doesn't mean.
But
you're
it's
right.
almost like it does more damage to the people. It seems to do more damage to the people being discriminated against than it does for
Yeah,
people like me to not have to say it.
That's true.
I think that's
true.
why we're at this.
Yeah, that's true.
So I find free speech a bit weird because I can understand where you're coming from because I can tell you're a big free speech.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would be like that, and I like that.
I know what you mean.
But I see how people take the piss with it.
People abuse
I feel like you can only give free speech to certain people, but then it's not free. So,
But yeah, you have to pay for it sometimes.
Yeah,
Oh, I had something on my head then. It's gone.
it's about free speech.
It was about free speech, yeah.
This podcast's gonna be a lot longer.
It's alright. It can be an hour long. I'm sure David will enjoy it.
Yeah. David. David!
Have you thought any more about free speech, or should we leave it there since it is quite long?
Let me see if this point comes to me first. Oh yeah, that's it. Like, about offending people. People like, so technology and everything has risen dramatically recently, like on the graph of, it's like gone up really quick.
What has? Sorry, I zoned out.
Just like technology and
Yeah.
the advancement of humans.
Yeah.
But like how
tough humans are has decreased significantly because of the quality of life.
I'm not sure about that. I think the stress of life has increased a lot.
In different ways, though.
Yeah.
More mentally than physically.
Yeah. So I think
Physical
that's what
life
you
used to be a lot
I don't
better.
think we've got weaker. I think it's life's become mentally tougher. Like it used to be a time when you'd
I agree.
grow up and like either you'd probably work in a mill or you'd learn how to use a sword or you used to work in a factory. Basically, you grew up knowing what you were going to be. Now you have so many options and so many things and trying to make everyone so happy and there's these rules
True.
you have to follow.
But imagine how mentally straining it would be to wake up every morning hoping that you haven't got the plague and all of your neighbours have got
But
the
that
plague.
would just be life.
You wouldn't know. any better.
What
You wouldn't know any
horrible
better.
life to be in, though.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know any better.
Yeah, but you wouldn't. Yeah.
Exactly. But compared to today, when we wake up in a soft bed, we go downstairs, have a hot drink, whatever the fuck we want, and dress.
But that's
down.
almost the issue because we know everything's possible, so it like tears us apart. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
But we're spoiled, though.
yeah,
We're spoiled.
yeah.
Life in the past was undoubtedly harder than life today. On the whole.
I don't think. I think
Definitely it is.
physically it was a lot harder. Mentally, I'm not sure.
I think for most people in human history, mental life was harder then than it is today.
Really.
Yeah, in all of human history, the things that people have had to endure to get
Like
to this point
physically
now.
endure, yeah, but what do you mean like mentally endure?
Wars,
Yeah, wars are fucked up. I'll give you that.
murder, like someone comes and invades your village. Imagine the endless possibilities and much
Yeah,
more
but
then that was the
murder,
culture.
murder
Job
would
you're gonna
be
have.
such a commonplace back then that still, if murder happens now, say one person has murdered on this neighbourhood, that'd be so much fucked up then if
Exactly.
100 murders happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
death
it's
is
such
death.
mental.
No.
Murder is murder. Your life can end at any moment.
Yeah, but murder is such a bigger thing now than it was in the past.
You've also got to think lives are a lot shorter. Like back then, you were only
Yeah,
living
but-
to 30.
What people see of murder doesn't change how horrific murder. No one wants to be killed.
Yes, it has.
No one wants
Murder.
to die.
Yeah, but murder's more horrific now than it was back in the
Because
day.
people see it more horrifically. Because we're in our boxes, we're all closed off. No one gets murdered around
Yeah, so
here.
that's why it's more mentally straining now for a
What,
child.
to not have murderers about?
No, because it happens less, we're less accustomed to it, so it puts more restraint
Yeah.
if it did happen.
No, I disagree.
Yes.
No, the physical reality of death being on your doorstep more.
Yeah, that's why
often
physically
is
it was
scary.
yeah, physically it was worse, but they didn't know it was scary because it's just commonplace for people
Yeah,
to die.
they didn't know
I
any better. They
think-
didn't know a time where murder didn't happen. If people,
I think we're
this is what happened. This is life.
I think we're much more mentally. I know I'm not saying life today is easy, especially with like stress of jobs and all that stuff. But I think on the whole, mental and physical stress for humans has been much worse in the past than it is today.
Other than war,
mental.
I would
Really
say
do.
mental.
I really
no.
do.
No.
Going to war and all that, yeah, that is
Think
a
of
horrific
any point
mental
in
stress.
human history. There's probably a lot tougher things going on today.
Why? But say
We've
say
got
if you go
central
all the way.
heating.
Why wasn't mental health thing a really major thing then, 100 years ago?
Might have been.
It wasn't though. Mental health is a thing.
It's not as talked about back.
Mental health is a more recent thing, isn't it?
It's because because back then you lived in your house and you sat there and all your goals were to like survive. That's almost
Yeah.
easier. If you just sit there and you go, right, what am I going to do today? I'm going to survive. Then that's mentally that is easier. When you don't know you can have this life of not thinking about, oh yeah, making it tomorrow, did well here. That makes it a lot harder.
Yeah, but that guy isn't stressed about paying his mortgage. That guy's stressed about eating tonight so he isn't dead by tomorrow. And that is worse than not knowing how to pay your mortgage.
But I don't think that's what stresses people out. It's not paying people's mortgage. I don't think that's what's causing mental health now. I think what's causing mental health now is all like little weird nuances of life that's coming about of all the options and things like that.
We do have definitely got now. That was really bad. We've got a lot more to think about now.
Yeah.
There's a lot more.
And I think that's what's causing it.
And I think being so comfortable now has opened up the possibility to think more.
What the fuck was that, Wilson?
Wilson's pissed. Look at his eyes.
Tell you what, I fucking knocked down the skyscraper.
He's got wide
What
eyes.
was that for? He just ran up to me and clawed me. Meow! Gonna bite you.
There's a lot more to think about now.
Yeah. I would say it's more mentally strenuous now, sort of.
Fucking hell, we're reaching an hour mark.
Yeah, we should probably
59
wrap
minutes.
it
We
up.
do it exactly 1 hour.
Yeah,
We
but
end
probably
it
got
like
to
that.
edit-
No,
we're
we
probably
should
gonna
wrap
edit
it up.
the
We've got to
start as
edit
well.
it, so we'll
Okay.
edit it to 1 hour.
You also
But
got to edit
we'll
start.
wrap up now.
Also, only
Hopefully, we'll have a guest for
Should
next
we do a
time.
face off to end?
To be fair, Matty can have been the guest for this time, can't you?
Matty Wilshere.
Because you were in the
I was in
whole
the
thing.
first.
Yeah, you were in the whole, yeah, but you weren't much in the first one. You were a lot in this one.
Yeah.
You were quite heavily. We had the great biologist
We've had a good
Matty
time.
Wilshere in.
Started from fucking TV shows, isn't it?
His new book's
Yeah.
coming out next year.
Can I have a cameo in your
Yeah.
book?
In your book. Can you have it cameos in a book of things?
Yeah, I can be in it, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
features.
point. How can you have a cameo? Right, let's not get wrapped up in all this shit.
Okay.
Right. Time.
See you later.
See you.
Home Braze. Ooh,
Slash just David.
Bye.
Bye, Dave.
William.
Audacity. You've been recording on Audacity. Oh, Audacity as well. Boom.
Stop.
That's the